And good morning, everybody on the West Coast. 9:42 West Coast time, 12:42 on the East Coast. Vasu Vaddiparty here with you for the Make the Money and Run podcast minute for Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021. Coming up on this podcast minute, we'll talk a little NBA basketball playoffs starting for the East on Wednesday. Game 2 tonight between the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Clippers. Phoenix has a 1-0 series lead. In the NHL, the Tampa Bay Islanders shows you what happens when they get you mad. The Islanders found that out very quickly. An 8-0 victory by the Lightning. They take a 3-2 series lead. They try to close it out on the island on Wednesday night in New York against the Islanders. 3-2 series lead. The Vegas Golden Knights and the Montreal Canadiens surprisingly tied at 2 games apiece. In this series, they have Game 5 tonight. They'll try and take a 3-2 lead in their series. And then the two favorites who came into the playoffs as the favorites in Las Vegas, the higher favorite, the lower favorite, I should say, plus 110. Tampa Bay at plus 150, Montreal plus 1,100. And the Islanders, I believe, if I remember right, that our colleague Casey Freelove said at plus 750 coming into the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes. Lots of hockey to talk about, lots of NBA to talk about. Start off with Major League Baseball. The big game of the week, the Dodgers-Padres in a 3-game series. The Padres got first blood last night behind Yu Darvish's 6-2 victory over the Dodgers. Darvish looked good for 6 innings. The bullpen came down, shut him down. The Dodgers 2 runs on Mookie Betts' home run, Will Smith's home run. Dodgers have injuries right now. Arias had a misplay in the first inning on the leadoff batter, Tommy Pham. McKinstry misplayed the ball. Turned into a double, and that led to a 4-run outburst in the first inning by the Padres, capped off by a Manny Machado 3-run home run in the bottom of the first inning. So they'll go again tonight with at 7 o'clock on the West Coast, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. It'll be on TV locally. It is going to be Clayton Kershaw and Blake Snell. So 2 left-handers tonight for the Dodgers and Padres. Dodgers fall to 2 games behind the idle San Francisco Giants. The Padres pick up a half game on the Giants. So they're 3 back of the Dodgers, 3.5 back of the Dodgers, and 5.5 back of the San Francisco Giants. The other matchup, Houston Astros nearly had a combined no-hitter against the Orioles last night. They continue to maintain their lead in the American League West by a half a game, actually by a full game now over the Oakland A's. The A's lost 2 out of 3 to the Yankees over the weekend, and they got beat 8-3 last night in Texas. The Texas Rangers got a 5 spot in the first inning to support Kyle Gibson. Frankie Montas, we said he's kind of the weak link. Casey had it called. The over 8 on that play was the easiest play on the board last night. The Cleveland Indians in the rematch of the 2016 World Series. Aaron Savali, if you haven't heard that name, he's 11-2. He leads the big leagues in victories. 11-2 for the Cleveland Indians. They go into Chicago. He's a $1.40 underdog. They beat the Cubs 3-0 over Adbert Azalea. 3-0 the final for the Indians. Javier Baez got pulled in this game in the 4th inning for not knowing how many outs there were when he was running the bases. Led to a double play. And so David Ross, who was his teammate on that 2016 World Series team, pulled him, took him out of the lineup, said, you can't make mental mistakes. You're going to cost us ball games. And sure enough, he cost them a double play last night. And good for David Ross. That shows that he's got the gumption as a manager to be able to sit players down, even though you need a bat like Javier Baez. So I'm sure he'll learn his lesson. I'm sure he'll come back today totally focused, and that won't happen again. But Aaron Savali, the story of that game, 11-2 for the Cleveland Indians. They are now, let me see where they get the standings up here. They are now 2 games back of the idle Chicago White Sox. The White Sox are going to be in or at home, I believe. Let's see here. They're going to be at Pittsburgh, so they've got a 2-game series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Lucas Giolito, the ace, goes for the White Sox tonight. Washington Nationals, Philadelphia Phillies go tonight. How about Kyle Schwarber? 9 home runs in the last 10 games, including 5 in the last 13 innings. Giants fans know out here in the Bay Area what he did damage to against the Giants pitching staff 2 weekends ago in Washington, D.C. But Kyle Schwarber on fire right now, NL Player of the Week. They go up against Zach Wheeler, undetermined yet for the Nationals, who they're going to pitch, probably a bullpen game tonight. The Reds and Twins are the early game. They're going to start in about 15 minutes. I have an early play on that. Wade Miley and Bailey Ober, high prospect for the Twins. He's made 5 starts for them. He's got no record, a 3.71 ERA. Wade Miley, one of the 7 pitchers that has thrown a no-hitter this year in Major League Baseball. He did that against the Indians in Cleveland. 6-4, 2.88. He's been a pleasant surprise for the Cincinnati Reds. They're a $1.11 underdog when I got them. Take the Reds at 1 o'clock Eastern, 15 minutes from now. The Reds over the Twins. The Twins walked off the Reds last night. on a Miguel Sano 2-run home run and extra innings, 7-5. Let's see what else we got in baseball. Cardinals, Tigers, not really interesting. Cardinals are playing better. They're 2 games back in the National League Central, tied with the Reds. The Red Sox Rays open up tonight. A bullpen game for the Rays. The Rays on a 6-game losing streak. Tampa Bay is, and Boston in first place now. They have a 2-game lead over Tampa Bay. Yankees closing hard. Toronto kind of been up and down a little bit, but the Red Sox Rays go. Eduardo Rodriguez against Andrew Kittredge tonight out of the bullpen. Kittredge 5-1, a 1.34 ERA. Rodriguez not the 19-game winner. He was 2 years ago, but 5-4 with an ERA well into the sixes, 6.21. Braves Mets, they split a doubleheader yesterday. The Braves got the second game, 1-0 in extra innings. That was a good underplay under 6.5. Drew Smiley pitched well in game 2 for the Atlanta Braves. Jacob deGrom, you give Jacob deGrom a 7-inning game, it's almost lights out automatic. No runs in 5 innings for Jacob deGrom. He lowered his ERA from 0.52 to 0.50 if that's possible, but he did. He shut the Braves down. The Mets got a game 1 win, 4-2. They lead in the National League East by 4 games over the Philadelphia Phillies. They're starting to catch up in the number of games now. Mets are 37-30. Phillies 1 game under 500, but they're 34-35. 4 games back. Atlanta and Washington 5 games back, and then the Miami Marlins are 8. Chicago and Milwaukee both lost last night. Milwaukee got beat by Arizona. How about those Diamondbacks? A 17-game losing streak. No more. They beat Milwaukee 5-1 at home yesterday. Charlie O called that. He said they're due to win. I never buy the due to win theory, but the Arizona Diamondbacks did come through. They're both 40-33, tied for first place in the National League Central. St. Louis 3.5 games back. Cincinnati 4 back. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are 13.5 back. Cincinnati on a 5-game losing streak. They got swept by San Diego and then lost last night in extra innings to Minnesota. But they're going to snap that 5-game losing streak with a win today over the Minnesota Twins. 10 o'clock on the West Coast, 12 o'clock Central Time in Minnesota, and 1 o'clock on the East Coast, which is about 15 minutes from now from first pitch. Wade Miley and Bailey Ober. Let's check out the National League West. San Francisco with a 2-game lead, as I said, over the Dodgers. 4.5 back over the Padres. Colorado 16.5 back. Arizona with that 1-game winning streak at 26 back. In the American League West, Houston does have that 1-game lead. They're tied in wins, but they have 2 less losses than the A's do. The A's lost to Texas last night, as we said. Houston beat up on Baltimore. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They've won 8 in a row. They've overtaken the run differential lead category. They're at plus 120. They are one of 2 teams. Nope, they're the only team over plus 100. The Dodgers went back down to 99, giving up a 6-2 loss. San Diego plus 76. The Giants are plus 90. The Cubs are the only one in the National League Central with a plus run differential at plus 18. And then 2 teams in the National League East, Miami in last place at plus 18, and the Mets at plus 19. Philadelphia minus 11 after their horrible weekend in San Francisco. Atlanta minus 2, and Washington minus 12. The American League West, Houston at 120, Oakland at plus 24. The White Sox, who were leading the world in that category, are plus 88 now. They've lost 4 in a row. That was to Houston. They get back on track with Pittsburgh tonight. Cleveland plus 7. The Toronto Blue Jays, who are mashing the ball, plus 43. Tampa Bay plus 73. Boston plus 34. The Yankees are at 0. The Yankees have Kansas City this week, so you expect them to win a couple of games this week against the Royals at minimum. All right, we're going to take 30 seconds here, come back with a little basketball preview, talk a little hockey. A big shout out to the Make the Money and Run crowd for coming on yesterday, wishing Casey well on his new endeavors, and also to the Stables Media Group, name them by name, Tony Russo, Joe Madden, Ken Sterling, all the notes we got. David came in he's a loyal listener to Stables Media. He came in yesterday, and also did Robby as well, too, a loyal listener and viewer to the Make the Money and Run podcast. All right, back in 30 seconds. We'll preview game 2 and get set up for the Eastern Conference Finals on Wednesday. I'm Vasu Vaddiparty. This is the Make the Money and Run podcast minute for Tuesday, June 21st, 2021. Welcome back to the Make the Money and Run podcast minute for Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021. Vasu Vaddiparty here. Just a programming note. We're going to get reshuffled. with Casey leaving the show temporarily. He'll be back during football season. I'm sure we'll be able to drag him back because the NFL and college football are his wheelhouse to mix sports metaphors here. So we'll have him back. But Charlie O and I will continue to maintain the Make the Money and Run podcast. We think we have the best show out there when it comes to sports and sports wagering. We've seen the shows on Fox and ESPN. I don't want to say them too loudly because I don't want to give them any publicity, but we are doing our best to keep you informed and entertained. And the one thing we do not do is we do not sit here and give you picks and call a 900 number or do anything of that. If you're on Facebook Live with us, we appreciate it. If you're on YouTube Live, we also appreciate it there. Thank you to Taylor Phillips on Facebook Live right now. If you missed any of the live broadcast, please download, subscribe, rate, and review. It all comes back to good feedback and good numbers on terms of the subscriptions. Just find the logo up there in the right-hand corner on your screen, the Make the Money and Run logo. Download and subscribe it, and also send us emails at mtmarpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit us on Twitter, mtmarpodcast, at mtmarpodcast. Casey, Charlie, and I are all on Instagram. Casey will be doing some picks as well. He may not be on with the show with us, but he will be making some picks, and maybe he'll get on a minute or two every now and then. But for the most part, Charlie and I are going to be handling the show, and we're going to be doing more podcast minutes. We want to be there every day for you. We want to make sure we give you good picks. We want to make sure we give you good information so you make knowledgeable, educational picks as you go forward as we start into training camp of the NFL. Now we're at the midway point, or not even the 1/3 of the way point past of Major League Baseball. And, of course, the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs are winding down. So we want to make sure we give you all the information you need to make you an educational and wiser better in terms of sports wagering. So check us out online, all of our social media pages, as well as right here live on Facebook and on YouTube. And then any place you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Google, SoundCloud, anywhere you get your podcast or any other avenue that you get your podcast, please find the logo, download, subscribe, rate, and review. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us to hear from people that are watching the show, people that are sports bettors, people that want to get all the information that they can from us. We'll be truthful, we'll be honest to you, and we'll give you all the time frames that we have. All right, a couple minutes here. Let's talk the NBA. First of all, the draft lottery is going to be tonight. They're going to have it'll be Houston, Detroit, Orlando, Oklahoma City, Cleveland, Minnesota, Toronto, Chicago, Sacramento, New Orleans, Charlotte, San Antonio, and Indiana. Why did I read them in that order? Because those are the percentages in order for teams that are going to get the number one draft pick in the lottery odds tonight. So Houston, Detroit, Orlando, 14% for the top three. Oklahoma City and Cleveland, 11.5%, 9% for Minnesota, 7.5% for Toronto, 4.5% for Chicago, Sacramento, New Orleans, 1.8% for Charlotte, San Antonio, 1.7%, and 1%, 1.00 for Kent Sterling's Indiana Pacers, who are going through it. So the format will be the ping pong balls, and the draft, it will take place tonight at 8:30 Eastern, right before the Clippers and Suns game to go off at 9 o'clock from Phoenix. Game 2, the Suns have a 1-0 series lead. Chris Paul likely out. Kawhi Leonard definitely out for the Clippers tonight. The line on the game, I believe, was 6 for Phoenix when I last checked it, and the over-under was around 218 or 219. So let's find out. Actually, I'll get to the lines right now. The Phoenix Suns come in with a 1-0 series lead. Devin Booker had 40 the other night. He got complimentary pieces. Jay Crowder, DeAndre Ayton, Cameron Payne played for Chris Paul, played outstanding. There's no way that they would have won that game without Cameron Payne effectively distributing the ball. And Devin Booker, one thing about Devin Booker, he's a smart guy. He assesses the situation, and he's able to know what's needed from him, whether it's passing the ball, distributing the ball, or playing defense or shooting the ball. And he shot the ball well. 40 points the other night of the team's 120 points, so 1/3 of the scoring by D Book. They are now a 4.5-point favorite of the Phoenix Suns, 223 the total, 9 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. And then tomorrow, the Milwaukee Bucks, who beat Brooklyn over the weekend in Game 7 on Saturday, they're a 7-point favorite over Atlanta, who beat Philadelphia on Sunday, 226.5. Philadelphia, the Sixers are getting run quite a bit right now. Ben Simmons taking a lot of the flack for what's going on in terms of what's going on with Philadelphia. He didn't shoot the ball. He only took 4 field goal attempts. He wants to be Robin to Joel Embiid's Batman. And in order to do that, you got to have more tools in your utility belt there, Robin/Ben Simmons. Everybody else can score. You do a lot of things well, but you can't be considered a great player, and you can't be getting paid $33 million a year to take 4 shots a game. I know you pass the ball well. I know you rebound the ball well. I know you play outstanding defense. even though Trae Young did score on you quite a bit. But you've got to be able to get onto it and figure out how to shoot. Doc Rivers said yesterday that they're going to work with Ben Simmons specifically. He's not going to play in the Olympics this year. Work with Ben Simmons specifically on his shot starting at the free throw line. You think the day after they lose a Game 7 that Doc Rivers comes out and says that? Why not say that at the beginning of the year and have that guy there to begin with? I understand it's a mindset. It's yips. It's the way it goes. Watching the U.S. Open this weekend, clearly the yips were there for a lot of the golfers. Bryson DeChambeau, my guy. John Rahm won the tournament on Sunday with the great back nine. Everybody else had a lousy back nine. But back to Philadelphia. What are you going to do, Philadelphia? You got to take care of Ben Simmons. I think he's too valuable for your team. He's too expensive to trade. That's for sure. I did hear something interesting on local radio. If you have to match money or come within 25% of the money, that Washington might want to think about getting rid of Russell Westbrook, and Russell Westbrook would be a great assist man to Joel Embiid. We know Russell Westbrook does not lack confidence in shooting, so him and Embiid might be a good play, but there is no rumor about Ben Simmons going to the Washington Wizards. I just thought that would be a good place where money matched up. 3 weeks ago, Damian Lillard was on the block with Ben Simmons, or mentioned with Ben Simmons, but after this performance, he's not going to be traded for the guy. He'll be traded for the other guy. So Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, if you're going to trade him to Portland, you might have a new coach there that can help him out of the pressure of Philadelphia. We'll see what Philadelphia does. But right now, wherever he goes, he's got to get that shot fixed. All right, Milwaukee. Giannis had 40 points the other night on Saturday. They went in overtime over Brooklyn, 115-111. Kyrie Irving did not play. James Harden was effective as he can be with that hamstring, and Kevin Durant looked gassed at the end, and he looked like he didn't know where he was at the end. Clearly, that series took a lot out of him, but they were the odds-on favorite to win the championship. You can't win the championship with three guys that don't play together. This game is called team. It's a team game for a reason. There's got to be cohesion. There's got to be communication. They had none of that, and of course, they didn't have Kyrie Irving's points. And now the Atlanta Hawks are playing the Milwaukee Bucks because the Brooklyn Nets lost. The Philadelphia Sixers lost. 76ers lost. So the top two seeds are out. The Utah Jazz are out, the number 1 seed in the West. The Phoenix Suns have the highest seed left, number 2 seed. They're going up against the number 4 seed Clippers. Game 2 tonight, as we said, 4.5, 223.5 tonight for Phoenix, and Milwaukee 7 and 224. We talked about the hockey. Vegas Golden Knights will play tonight. Series tied at 2 games apiece. Carey Price looks awesome in goal tonight. And if Montreal is able to pull out a victory on the road like they did in Game 2, he's going to have to basically stand on his head. And then the Islanders took a shot at Rudder yesterday, knocked him to the ground, sent him out of the game, made the Lightning mad, and they ended up pouring it on. 8-0, the final score for Tampa Bay. They have a 3-2 series lead over the New York Islanders. They can close it out on Long Island tomorrow with a victory. If not, Game 7 will be back in Tampa on Friday night. So that's going to do it for us. Charlie and I will continue to communicate with you in terms of when we're going to do our shows or what time they're going to be on. We're still going to do Monday, Thursdays, and Fridays, but we'll add the podcast minute in between. Thanks again to everybody on Facebook Live. Thank you to Taylor. And thank you to everybody watching on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. Don't forget, if you miss any of it, you can download, subscribe, rate, and review anywhere you find your podcast. Apple, Google, iHeart, Spotify, SoundCloud seems to be the best that work right now to find that logo, MTMAR. I'm Vasu Vaddiparty. This has been the Make the Money and Run Daily Podcast Minute for Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021. Have a great afternoon. Look for our picks in the afternoon around 6 o'clock Eastern for tonight's games. And right now, the early pick is the Cincinnati Reds plus 111 with Wade Miley on the mound against Bailey Ober of the Minnesota Twins. The Reds are going to split that series, break their 5-game losing streak, and win today. All right, I'm Vasu Vaddiparty, the Make the Money and Run Podcast Minute, powered by Stables Media. We'll see you soon. Don't forget to check the schedule and see when we're going to be back on. Charlie and I will be more than happy to be here for you. Keep checking us out. Keep getting our info, and let us know what you want us to talk about. Baseball, basketball, hockey dominating right now, and we'll continue to do that as the weeks go on. Have a great afternoon. Good luck with your bets. Enjoy the day, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.